Hey guys, we're back with another SMC gaming video. We actually do have cosplay content to post, but the gaming industry keeps burning up the world with more and more details in next generation. So we'll get to that eventually. We've actually been meaning to post this video for the last week now, but with the current state of the world, it's caused us some delay. I've actually had this idea for this video for a few weeks, but I figured it was the perfect time to actually record something with the recent developments of Sony releasing details on their PS5 system via the Mark Cerny presentation last week. Anyways, always, if you do happen to like what we're doing here on the channel, please think about liking and subscribing to the channel. As well, stay tuned to the end of the video and hear about how you can enter to win our latest giveaway. So if you're expecting a side-by-side comparison, you won't find one here currently, as I feel there are a ton of videos out there already on that topic. You can go check out some of the RDX podcast crew for a ton of great videos from guys like Dealer, Colt, Eastwood, and Zocker. Those guys do amazing videos, can really give you a great rundown of the actual specs. Let's get into it, and let's, like the topic says, the title says of the video, I believe the PlayStation 5 brand is currently in the weeds. Sony could be in really big trouble. Now at the time, let's be realistic. While the Xbox Series X is now proven as the more powerful next generation system, the PlayStation 5 will more than likely still sell more actual machines than the Xbox, simply because there are more PlayStation users, but I do feel the race will certainly be closer this upcoming generation. That being said, things could change if a few things mentioned in this video do come true. Sony is certainly hurting right now. If we do take a look at the GDC presentation that Sony released for everyone to watch, we can see Sony just doesn't have it together right now. While their competition currently has all cylinders firing with their marketing and messaging, Sony is just not there right yet, and if I was a fan, I would begin to worry. We all know that Mark Cerny event was meant to be seen by developers at GDC 2020, but was pushed publicly to the internet because GDC was postponed. Sony simply kind of dropped the ball here. They had people thinking this was going to be a reveal event, which it clearly wasn't. A couple of things really stood out for me during this presentation. First, I found it weird that while Cerny was talking about such advancements in the console space, that they decided to use old games such as Jak and Daxter 2 and the original Dead Space to drive some points home. These were PlayStation 3 / Xbox 360 era games that they were trying to leverage with this new technology and push the PS5 engines. That just seemed off to me. How about you guys? Why would they try and relate all this new tech to such old games? They couldn't find any PS4 games that people might be able to better relate to? Weird. Much like the whole presentation, the whole vibe of the event was just not a good one. This shouldn't have been the first look pushed to the bulk of the consumer base. If you did happen to catch the event, you would have noticed that there were more than 500,000 people watching the event, but a majority of the people were pretending to be asleep during the talk, constantly pushing Z's to the live chat. It was quite hilarious to actually see. There was no chatter, it was just Z's. It was boring and way too thick for the average person to consume. The fans just wanted to see the reveal of the physical console, much like their competition has already managed to do. Sony fans are left scratching their head and wondering what Sony is trying to accomplish here with the lack of true information being presented. Is there a reason why there's a lack of information? More on that in a few minutes. While fans were certainly left out in the cold with news that they were hoping to hear, the one thing that did ring true was Mark Cerny was creepy as fuck. I'm sorry for using the language, but I think there truly may have been people who were afraid to go to sleep that night because Cerny was going to pop out of their closet and try to take a picture of their ears.
That's just the first step, though. This is an open-ended research topic. Maybe you'll be sending us a photo of your ear and we'll choose a neural network to pick the closest HRTF in our library. Maybe you'll be sending us a video of your ears and your head and we'll make a 3D model of them and synthesize the HRTF.
He said that, right? You heard that? He wanted you to send in pictures of your ears to help improve their 3D audio API. More on that in a second. One of the biggest things about Sony's PlayStation presentation was the reveal of their 3D audio engine that just previously mentioned for the upcoming PlayStation 5. If you pay attention to the presentation, Sony goes very deep into the audio. It was almost a creepy, obsessive way. However, It looks like at the time of the talk, they actually haven't even finished the protocol for the 3D audio, saying that it's still being worked on. Another reason that, as far as I can tell, the PS5 is clearly in the weeds right now and they aren't ready for the big show. When you compare this against what Microsoft currently has developed, there seems to be a big difference. Microsoft has the power of DirectX behind it and apparently already has a fully realized API to run this and their ray tracing. The API will be used for both the Xbox and PC space and is already in the hands of developers. The same can be said for their Expandable Storage solution. It really surprised me to hear Sony talk about how they will indeed have a solution, but don't go out and get anything just yet, because their partners are still working on it, and the solution needs to meet the specific speed requirement and a physical requirement to be able to fit into the yet-to-be-seen PS5 enclosure. Once again, on the flip side, Microsoft has already shown off their Seagate-produced expandable SSD drives for the Xbox Series X. It should concern everyone that Sony seems to be far behind in producing a finalized product ready to ship to consumers. They seem like they are quite far from the finish line. Another big roadblock that appeared to be present is backwards compatibility. This was a big shocker when I heard Sony mention it. They have apparently done some research and came up with the top 100 PS4 games and have got most of them to work? Wow, I was shocked. They are so far behind on backwards compatibility components of next generation. People were assuming it would have backwards compatibility of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3, but it doesn't look like that's in the cards at all. Sony seems to be starting from square one, where Microsoft is so far beyond what they are offering. It's crazy. Xbox is expected to have 3,000 plus games ready at launch, making the ultimate machine for people to have when wanting to play both old and new games. As of right now, PlayStation has nothing worthy to speak of related to games for the upcoming next generation. Xbox users have known for months/a year that Halo Infinite is coming to next generation at launch. We also know the Xbox game studios are working on 15 to 20 new games. On the flip side of that coin, the gaming community knows nothing of what the PlayStation has in mind related to games. Of course, things are even getting worse now with the recent announcement that The Last of Us Part 2 is now indefinitely delayed due to the global crisis. This was certainly going to be a big PlayStation 4 hit and certainly a cross-generation launch title for the PS5. It appears not so much at the moment. Besides the presentation, Sony has nothing going for right now. No games, no hardware, no console. Oh no, my bad. They do have one thing. They have a new logo. Correct, right? That makes up for everything, right? I mean, they have nothing to see or show right now, but fans are apparently happy that they have a new logo. I know that gives me the warm and fuzzy feeling deep down. Seriously? I can't believe this is the best thing they have going for them right now. What is up with the management team over at Sony? I personally think this may be part of the problem. Everyone that was responsible for the success of the PlayStation 4 is pretty much gone, leaving only Jim Ryan in charge to run the whole show. The guy doesn't know how to excite fans at all. Did you see him introduce Cerny?
Hi. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the talk that we had planned for GDC. But we do have some super exciting news about PS5, and who better to bring that to you than the one and only Mark Cerny. Without further ado, over to you, Mark.
Of course, since we did wait so long in getting this video put together, new news has come out, hit the web, that Sony is even in more serious trouble than originally thought. Multiple people in the community have pointed to Sony having possible overheating issues with the design of the system. Even rumors that problems are so bad that the PlayStation 5 may need to be delayed and reworked for 6 to 12 months. Can you imagine that happens? What would happen to the console war? I, for one, have always had this concern, stemming back to the original rumors of the system being overclocked and overheated in the process. While we'll have to see what actually does happen when the system launches, if it does launch on time, I do think there could be some truth to this, and we could possibly see a red ring of death type event surrounding the PS5. I mean, I don't know how fans would take that personally. Did they simply have a design issue with their enclosure? Were they not taking the cooling issue seriously seriously enough as they were trying to hit a more sleek PS5 design? Or is the system simply not built well and the constant variable rate of the system is causing stability issues? What are your thoughts? There just seems to be a lot going wrong for Sony right now. Certainly nothing in the positive win column for right now, and while I've always leaned heavily on the Xbox brand, I do have two close friends that have always been in the PS4 corner and the first to defend Sony when it comes to whatever they're doing. For sure was at the time thought to be an easy PS5 upgrade path. Now both are reconsidering and leaning towards Microsoft's pro-consumer attitude and a console that simply appears to have everything going for it, including the raw power. Both of them have said to me unless Sony can turn it around drastically that they will be picking up an Xbox instead. That doesn't bode well for Sony. If my two diehard friends can convert, there are a lot of others out there as well. We really have two competitors going at things completely differently. Xbox is being very transparent and very forthcoming with information. We forgot to mention the fact that last week they also let high-profile YouTube influencers actually build the machine using the raw components in the lab at Microsoft, while all Sony has is a really wonky high-level presentation and that fancy logo. So what are your thoughts? Is the Xbox running away with next generation? Will Sony finally get it together and reveal something? Will the PS5 be delayed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you do like this video, consider sharing it to one of your friends on social media. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hey guys, so we mentioned at the beginning of the video that we're going to do a giveaway. So what we decided to do is, so at 250 subscribers and 500 subscribers, we're going to give away copies of our 2020 cosplay calendar. So basically everyone that subscribes and leaves us a comment on any of our videos is entered, and once we hit those numbers, we will make sure we get those drawn and out to some of our subscribers. Anyways, good luck and enjoy and subscribe for your chance to win. Thanks.